Hey, good morning and welcome to a brand new edition of your premium breakfast family show. Of course, hey, it's Wake Up Nigeria.
It's a beautiful morning. So much is promised today. Showers of blessings, everyone. One thing in life that is always constant is that, struggle, that war we have with ourselves, on whether to do this or do that in order to fail or succeed.
Yes, indeed. I agree with you. But the beautiful thing is, hey, you fail or succeed, it's your choice.
Yeah.
You can do either. You just have to make sure that you put your mind to it and you get what you want. You'll often get it, actually. I talk about showers of blessings. We had the showers this morning. I don't know what's going on with the weather, but it's okay.
We'll be giving you a weather update soon enough today. But this is the most anticipated breakfast show on the planet, in our opinion. And we hope that you gather as much as you can from this 1 hour, 45 minutes of undiluted entertainment.
Yes, indeed. Hey, we're going to tell you our names now. My name is Mazino Appeal, as you know already.
And I'm Titilaya Oyinson. You can stream the show live on tvcentertainment.tv or on Facebook at TVC Connect, or watch us on GOTV, channel 27, or UHF, channel 49.
Yes, want to go straight into the kitchen to see who we have here. We have no idea who this might be, but reports has it that she is tall, bold, and beautiful.
Ooh.
What's her name? Yes, you can grow her in your backyard. It's Mary.
Yes, Maz. Thank you so much. I know, right?
What is
Good
that?
morning. I am so glad to be here this morning. I can't wait for the month to end.
It's only just
For
tomorrow,
many
don't you worry.
reasons.
It's all good.
Yes, so.
In any case, but you do, I'm noticing that your dress has pockets.
Oh,
It's not
wow.
something you
Oh,
have
okay.
often.
Okay, that's true. They do, actually. And I'm noticing also that we are twinning the blue waves.
We are, aren't
Blue
we?
movement.
You should be here.
Oh.
What's your name again?
Wow. Wow. Wow.
In any
Thanks
case,
a lot.
You guys are
Voila.
welcome for a Tuesday edition. We can't wait to get on the show.
Now, that smile of Mary's is looking extra healthy today. And speaking of health, we will be looking at something really interesting. Some people are taking medicines and somehow they've stopped working for them. Yes, indeed. Mr. Kenneth Etokakban is going to be here. He's a pharmacist with over 7 years' experience in clinical and community pharmacy and drug supply chain management. Now, we're going to be discussing resistance against medicines.
And right after, we have a musical performance. We are going to be enjoying the smooth and sweet sounds of A Major. He is a pianist, and his name is actually Amos Izomo. He's popularly known as A Major. He'll be here to serenade us with his lovely vocals.
Then we're going to be having an interesting conversation with Tolulope Jeremiah, popularly known as Toluiz. He's a comedian, content creator, and we can't wait to share his work with the world.
And then finally, on parenting, we will be discussing today's dad, taking care of mom, with Jesutola Ajao, a creative analyst and also founder principal at New Lagos Dads, a parenting platform for new dads, promoting improved parenting for a better society.
Interesting coincidence. That topic.
How so?
Later on, we're going to be having a conversation on it later on in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You guys want to stick around for this one, especially if you're a dad. You're going to find this very interesting.
But it's so interesting that we've all been on the radio. That's
true.
like
That's
all of us,
true.
we have radio experience. Mary is still on the radio every week.
Yeah, I'm still on the radio, and I like to say it so
Yeah.
that you people can listen to me. You can listen to me on Max FM, 102.3 Max FM.
Well, we only just started
Please,
the show.
10 a.m. to noon on Saturday mornings, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Sunday evenings.
Ooh.
And the show is called The Mary Alimi Show. So please listen, okay?
Interesting.
We'll send you our invoice later.
She has some really interesting
of course.
topics.
But why did you bring that up? You were on radio on Friday, weren't you?
Yes, on Friday
yes, I heard
night.
about
You heard
that.
about that, right? So here we find ourselves after like 4.5 hours of traffic, and people needed information. And usually on a Friday night, it's like a clubbing kind of vibe. But trust me, nobody was.
We're
in
all stuck
clubbing
on the
mood,
roads.
on Friday night, and so we had the opportunity to sort of, just do some community radio and help people
About the traffic situation
endure
out
the
there.
traffic. Yeah. Give
So
them
was that fun?
It was interesting.
You feel old?
I didn't feel old. I felt refreshed and inspired, actually, because, I think it's like riding a bike.
You never forget.
Yeah,
things.
you never forget
how.
Yeah.
Well, I will. Someone who's, well, not long ago just come from radio. You're still on it. I'm going to say that there's a different spirit around radio than from TV.
So the one thing about radio for me is the ability to switch personalities.
Yeah, the theater of the mind.
Yes, on radio you can be anything at any point in time, and on TV you need to be all composed and all, because it's more visuals. So on radio you have to paint a picture. I remember I struggled with that when Wake Up Nigeria started, because I would like to express what I want to talk about. Like, you know, you have to first explain, because when you're on radio, people need to understand what you're talking about. But on TV, I didn't realize that there was no need for me to mention onions. People can't see it.
So I think that's where I got my penchant for cheesiness.
No, it's a good thing.
And hopefully some more cheesy
She's about to give us some
innuendos will be raining down on us today.
There we go.
Having the opportunity to connect with you every day is a pleasure and a blessing. Thank you so much for tuning to Wake Up Nigeria.
Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. We begin with Judicial Matters, as the Federal High Court has dismissed a suit instituted by the federal government seeking to extradite suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari to the United States of America. Justice Ian Ekwo held that the extradition request filed by the Attorney General of the Federation lacked merit and is liable to dismissal. Judiciary correspondent Celestina Iria reports.
The Attorney General of the Federation had filed an extradition application at the Federal High Court in Abuja following a request by the diplomatic representative of the U.S. Embassy in Abuja. The request from the U.S. authorities to Mr. Malemi is for the surrender of Abba Kyari, who is the subject of superseding 3-count indictment. In his defense, Mr. Kyari had held that he has not committed any offense to warrant the federal government ferrying him to America. The suspended police chief told the court that more than a year before his arrest, he had written the Attorney General of the Federation and the Inspector General of Police, notifying them that he had opened a channel of communication with the suspected internet fraudster Ramon Abbas. In the 2-letter tendered in court, Mr. Kyari explained that the purpose was to gain the confidence of the suspected fraudster and lure him to come to Nigeria, where an ambush was already laid for a sting operation by his own strike force. Delivering judgment, Justice Ian Ekwo held that the federal government has no basis to fight the extradition request, having put Abba Kyari on trial in Nigeria in relation to allegations against him in America. The Extradition Act is clear as one which prohibits granting extradition request for someone who has a pending criminal suit yet to be discharged by a court of competent jurisdiction, and in the case of the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari, who faces another case of alleged drug trafficking. The trial judge expressed dismay that the Attorney General Abubakar Malemi, being the chief law officer, should have known that the extradition suit was incompetent.
The application for extradition, as made by the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation, was brought in bad faith. It was not brought seriously. It was an attempt to hoodwink and attack our clients. And it's incompetent, and it was dismissed and was struck out and dismissed together on the merits too, that there's no merit in it. And the basis of the finding is that there is also a subsisting criminal case filed by the same Attorney General before filing the extradition application. And he cannot pretend to say that he's not aware.
The basis of the extradition suit against Mr. Kyari was hinged on his alleged involvement with internet fraudster Ramon Abbas, commonly known as Hush Puppy, who was convicted by a U.S. court. Celestina Iria, TVC News, Abuja.
Now, staying with Judicial Matters, a federal high court in Lagos has stopped the National Broadcasting Commission from withdrawing the licenses of 53 broadcast stations in the country and shutting the stations down for allegedly failing to renew their operating licenses. Justice Akintayo Aluko earlier granted an order of interim injunction following the hearing of an argument on motion ex parte by the Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project, a Nigerian Guild of Editors, SERAP. And NGE had last week filed a lawsuit against President Buhari and the NBC, asking the court for a declaration that Section 10A of the third schedule to the NBC Act is unconstitutional and unlawful as it violates freedom of expression. The case was adjourned to 8th September 2022 for hearing of the motion and notice for interlocutory injunction. The suit followed the decision by the NBC to revoke the licenses of the 53 broadcast stations and shut down their operations within 24 hours over alleged 2.6 billion naira debt. At least 3 persons have been killed and several persons injured in violent clashes in Baghdad's Green Zone. Now, this follows an announcement by Iraqi cleric Muqtada al-Sadr that he was withdrawing from political life. Eyewitnesses say security forces pushed protesters out of Iraq's Republican Palace by firing tear gas and live bullets. The Republican Palace is where the Iraqi cabinet meets, and Prime Minister Mustafa al-Kadhimi has now suspended all meetings of his government until further notice. The Prime Minister has urged Mr. al-Sadr to help call on demonstrators to withdraw from government institutions. Iraqi military disclosed that it is practicing the highest levels of self-restraint and brotherly behavior to prevent clashes or the spilling of blood. The military also declared a full curfew until further notice. There's so much more to come. Just stay with us.
Look at what's happening on the covers of the papers this morning. Today is the 30th of August, 2022. It's a Tuesday, and we're starting with the Daily Trust. No more negotiation with federal government, say ASU. Declares indefinite strike. Lecturers resigning in droves at Unilag. They're heartless, say NANS. Their decisions not binding on state varsities, say pro-chancellors. Now, the story concludes on page 5. Crowd defies downpour as Atiku, Ayu, others receive Shakarao. Banditry. Federal government releases 6.25 billion naira for cattle ranches in Katsina. Traders count losses as flood sacks Kano's Kantin Quarry market. And there, under the photo story there, it says here, federal government may borrow 11 trillion naira for 2023 budget as deficit rises above 100%. On Hush Puppy, court bars federal government from extraditing Kyari to the U.S. On 2023, politicians see elections as war, say INEC. A woman lures kids with biscuits, steals 2-year-old in Niger State. Page 16 has more on that. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Trust. We have with us the Nation newspaper as well. It says here, PDP crisis, setback for Atiku and Wike reconciliation. Atiku's men rally party organs for Chairman Ayu. Something will happen soon, says Rivers governor. Story starts there on the cover and wraps up on page 25. Just beneath the masthead here, Ifa not Oyomesi will pick new Alafin. Page 27 has more on that. ASU declares total indefinite strike. State varsities not under obligation to implement federal government's agreements with unions. More on page 28. World Bank excludes Nigeria from $315 million food security cash. Page 7 has more on that. Court declines government's request to extradite Abba Kyari to U.S. I'm here for higher calling, says Tinubu. Gas-powered houses, or rather buses, for use on Marina Aja Ekpe route. Page 27 has more information. And beside the photo story there, votes for capital projects unlikely in budget 2023, says Finance Minister. And that's what we have on the cover of The Nation. We also have the Guardian newspaper as well. It says here, 2023, federal government to borrow 11 trillion naira, spend 3.36 trillion naira on subsidy. Nigeria to spend 19.6, or rather 0.76 trillion naira next year as deficit jumps by 54%. And government may not fund capital projects in 2023, according to the Finance Minister. Petrol subsidy to remain till mid-2023. Story starts there and wraps up on page 6. Moving to the bottom of the page here, it says here, Obi Dati Media Office tackles Tinubu's group for comparing Peter Obi with Ashwaju. And just beneath the masthead there, Ayu Wike continue war of words amid reconciliation talks. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian. And that's all we have time for when it comes to the headlines in the dailies. We have a quick break, and we'll be back with more.
Good morning once again and welcome. It is time for our What's Up and About.
Yeah.
MM, are you okay? We are
Wow.
looking now.
Wow.
Past conversation.
Okay.
But MM has something very interesting, a revelation, if I must say.
Yes, it is a revelation, and I'm wondering why it took me 4 years and a half to come to that realization. I really do not understand why you are smiling and giggling with yourself. Unless you can relate
just sip
with
the tea.
it. You have no rights to.
Go ahead. I'm the only guy here, so I'm here to learn.
I just realized that I actually suffered postpartum depression, right? How did I come to this awareness, right? So it was over the weekend, and I was just basically reflecting on my relationship with Elsie, right?
First or second daughter?
Elsie,
Yes,
my
first.
also my
Elsie.
first daughter. With Eliana, I didn't spend so much bonding time with her because I just lost my dad. So I was drifting because I didn't want to project onto her, you know, what I was going through, because it wasn't a good period for me, it wasn't a good time for me, emotionally and mentally, right? So with Elsie, I noticed that I was just reflecting, and then I realized that with her, I was always transferring. I was always projecting. You know, she would cry, and then I would, you know, take her into a room, and then I would close the door because I didn't want to hear her crying. I didn't want to hear her. I didn't want to hear that noise. There are times that I would lock myself up in the room. And I was just thinking about it, so I'm like, oh my God, I actually really suffered.
Is it because you didn't know what it was before? Or?
Yeah.
I guess I just never didn't pay attention to it.
A lot of women actually don't.
I didn't pay attention to it, so I kind of like, oh wow.
Is that the only way it manifests? What exactly is
It manifests
postpartum
in different ways, actually.
Yeah.
depression? What is it?
Yeah, so this is a period, well, not always immediately post giving birth for women. And apparently, men go through it too. That's another conversation.
Well, yeah.
You're correct. I think I went through it too.
Yeah.
I think I need some love and care.
This is not a joke. But the thing is, it manifests in different ways, and different things can trigger it. It could be a baby's cry. It could be the lack of family support. It could, you could notice that the mother of the child is not eating well or at all.
Or paying
not
attention.
giving attention.
Or too much.
Yeah.
Or not giving any attention, or not paying attention to the child. So once you notice that the woman has tuned out of her baby's cry, so the baby is crying and the woman doesn't move, take note of that.
Did you go through it?
Yes, definitely.
Mary,
I did.
did you go through
I
it?
did.
Every woman goes through postpartum depression. That's actually true. According to findings, it can last as long as a few days or for a
Months,
lifetime.
yeah.
Yes.
A lifetime.
Depending on the
Yeah.
woman, yes.
Some.
But actually, according to studies, yes. So most women, what happens is most women don't realize it.
Yeah.
But it's a normal thing.
Does it have to be diagnosed?
Most women do not wish to acknowledge it.
Can
In
I-
fact, in most cases, it is ignored.
Okay.
Can I actually
Until
say
it is
something?
too late.
In different cultures, it's managed in different ways. There's a
Yes.
reason why in Yoruba culture, there is a period where the woman is supposed to stay with a family member.
Yeah.
Right? For, I think it's 40 or 41 days, I think.
Yes.
You make sure you stay with the child.
Yes.
That encourages the bond. So no matter what's going on, there's a family member to make sure
That's
that
called
that person...
umugwo.
For Igbo.
No,
For Igbos, that's umugwo.
yes. That period is actually very important. So family member is supposed to observe, make sure that they take note of everything that's happening and help. That family support is so important. And it's often said that the depression sets in when the mom feels alone. If you feel like it's only you that this thing is doing. And there are sadly a lot more women going through that.
So, you know, it's funny. Last Tuesday, I was actually having a conversation with Jesutola, who is also going to be here today.
And the topic is actually talking about taking care of moms.
Fathers taking care of moms.
Yeah.
And I remember we're talking about how different men react, new dads.
Yeah.
And we shared some of the experiences. The reality is, I don't want to move away from the woman angle, but most men also suffer from it in different ways.
Yeah.
For some men, they become a lot more reactive.
Or aggressive.
Or, you know, they just, you know, get angry. Now, for some men, one way to notice, so your wife has a child, and then a few months down the line, you just feel she's being too aggressive, unnecessarily, in quotes, as they say it, dramatic.
Yeah.
it might be postpartum depression. In fact, most people don't know about PND until it's too late.
And then I'm also going to quickly advocate that for, you know, when at hospitals, just the way we have antenatals, we should also have sessions for men to help them look out for the signs and how to help the woman go through this period with her.
Yeah, City mentioned some of the signs earlier as well.
So,
we could add
if
to
you
it.
notice that a mom is not reacting almost...
We already mentioned that.
Yeah,
So you could also...
mood swings.
mood swings.
You're depressed, you're sad, you're always feeling, sometimes even withdrawn. Yeah, that happens. You're getting cranky, unnecessarily cranky. Every little thing is just biting you. Like.
Then apparently a loss of libido is also very
It's actually
key.
very normal
So
as well
if
for
a man
some
does
people.
notice
Yeah.
that.
So who's losing the libido, the man or the woman?
Sometimes it's both.
I had it. I had it.
No, but seriously, if you feel you're suffering from it or if you notice someone else is suffering from it, please, it's either you help the person get help or you provide the help yourself.
Please. I don't want to
It's not
ever...
a time to start yelling at the woman and saying, when
is
you
it
were
only
doing it,
you?
you did not know.
Honestly,
Very
that
nice.
thing
You
is
guys
good.
actually, that's very interesting information, educating information that I learned a lot from all you.
Oh, yeah, right.
Touching.
In between you people, all of you. Wait, 5 children.
Please, can we take this break? We'll be right back.
It's actually 6 children.
Wait, if you add my daughter.
And we are back, people. Yes, with me in the kitchen is Chef Eniola. And we haven't had her for a while on the show. Wonder why? Wonder why?
Making money, looking for more money.
Oh, don't worry. It's coming.
I know, right?
You're manifesting it here, right here in the
Thank you.
kitchen. Right? Yes, today on the show, we're making, or she's making, actually, because she's the chef. Okay, because I really don't know why I'm dragged into this, but it's all right. Yes, Chef Eniola is making spaghetti with meatballs. I know, right? I know.
Yeah.
I'm about to break into a dance here, but hey, I'll just chill, just put it on. Yeah, I'll control myself. All right, so let's talk about the ingredients for our
Okay, yeah,
spaghetti.
so I have pepper mix here.
Okay.
Already boiled, just tomatoes, scotch bonnet, onions, boiled and all that. I have
Just in case
minced
you don't know what scotch bonnet is.
atarodo.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Then I have minced beef, and then sausage. I minced, like, it's ground sausage.
Like, did you blend the
Yes, I did.
sausages?
Yes, I did. Just to, give it more taste, because it's pork. Pork and beef goes really good.
Yeah, it's all going to go, all that flavor
Flavor
from
and
gonna go
every
into the sauce.
You see, that was why I said we. And
This babe.
Yeah, we have tomato paste.
Okay.
We have garlic and ginger. We have onions, cooking oil, green pepper, spring onions, parboiled pasta.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a little al dente. And then here we have the spices.
Okay.
Curry, thyme, dry pepper, seasoning cubes, salt, bay leaf. And then here is breadcrumbs. I made them myself, though.
Okay, so before we go into how you made the breadcrumbs, what is the role of the breadcrumbs in this meal?
It's a binder. It makes everything molds. It doesn't break. The balls don't break.
Oh, the meatballs. Oh,
Yes.
So you actually use breadcrumbs to,
Yes,
put, you
yes.
know, to make it, put
Stay
it
like,
together.
yeah, exactly.
Hold it
Yes.
together.
And if you don't have breadcrumbs, you can just get regular bread, take out the crust, soak it in milk or water,
Okay.
and then just mix it.
Explain that again. Wait, so I get my a slice of bread, right?
Okay, take out the
Take
crust.
out the crust.
Yes.
And then soak it in milk.
Cut them, like, just tear them
Oh,
apart.
like,
yes.
okay.
Soak it in milk
Okay.
or water,
Okay.
depending on what you want.
And
then let it sit for 5 minutes, and you can add every other thing you want. So it holds it. Oh, by the way, we missed this.
What's that?
1 egg.
Ha.
This makes it perfect.
Because I'm like, I know that egg is your go-to binder. So,
yes.
I
No.
mean,
This works. This is like the real binder.
Oh,
it holds
okay,
it
okay.
so it doesn't break. Like it doesn't.
So why do we
it
need the
holds.
eggs again?
Just mix everything. It's just the rules. Italian rules. We really don't know why. But yeah.
Yeah, because some of these things you just don't understand. You just
Exactly.
see,
Sha,
it, you're like,
just
oh
like
yeah.
it. Just do it.
Okay, let's get cooking.
Yeah, something like that.
So what are we doing first off?
I already about this, so we're not
Okay.
really doing so much. Yeah.
All right. So if you mix that on the ingredients, people, you have it right there on your screen. If it's something that you'd like to try out this morning, the kids absolutely love spaghetti. It's something that you can make for them, and they love it with meatballs,
Yes.
guys, right? So
Juicy meatballs.
if you can't get mincemeat, but you can get you have sausages, you just blend them up to create your own meatballs.
Yeah.
Remember that you are the God in your kitchen. You can create whatever it is you want to create or you want to make. Right. So on your screen right there are the ingredients, people. You have the salt, egg, spaghetti, which is already the al dente right here. We have our mincemeat, our vegetable oil, dried thyme, green pepper, tomato paste, milk or water. I really don't understand what the milk or water is doing there.
I thought I explained already for the bread.
That's for the bread, but we are not. You already have the bread.
We're actually still going to use it. You know.
For what again?
Don't worry. You know me, I'll make magic.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
Yeah, we're going to use just a little bit of water.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
well, because I mean, like, already you're going to use water for the spaghetti, right?
We're not.
Explain the process for the milk, because I'm a bit confused at this point.
Okay, so on a norm, right,
Okay.
you're meant to cut the bread. If you're using whole bread, you're meant to cut them in pieces. And
No,
then
I
soak.
mean, explain the process for the meal.
Oh, for the, I think you said...
No, for
yeah,
the
for the meal.
Yeah.
So, it's just like jollof rice, right? You saute your onions and peppers, you mix them. Once it's cooked, set aside, make your meatballs, fry them, cook them in the sauce, then add the pasta and
So
that's
it's like
it.
making jollof rice.
It's like making jollof rice,
I thought we're actually
yes.
having like pasta and then the
No.
sauce.
Pasta
but
and
all
meatballs
of this
together,
is going
yes.
into one pot.
Yes,
Fantastic stuff happening in the kitchen.
yes.
Pretty excited about this morning's breakfast. I hope you are. Don't worry, we're not leaving you out. You are a part of everything happening here in the kitchen, and also here on the show. We have to head over to the couch now for some discussion with Mary.
Thank you very much, MM. Now, on Health Today, we're looking at drug resistance. Why do medicines suddenly stop working for you? Yes, that's the question. And doing justice to that, of course, is Kenneth Etuk-Akpan, a pharmacist with over 7 years' experience in clinical and community pharmacy, drug supply, chain management, and digital healthcare. It's always a pleasure having a conversation with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Fantastic. So I know we've tried to touch on different areas when it comes to medicines, but one area we touched on weeks ago and decided we would definitely have to expand it upon is resistance, drug resistance.
Right.
So now let me even start from what causes resistance to medication.
So resistance to medications can be caused by two different things. It's classified into two major areas. So people behavior, right, and also the bacterial behavior. So people behavior means the behavior of people towards medication. So it could be drug misuse, drug abuse, and drug overuse. Right, that's
misuse, abuse, overuse.
Overuse,
okay.
right. Then we also have the bacterial behavior. That's there's an inbuilt mechanism in the bacteria in which they mutate in their DNA and everything, which causes the bacteria to become resistant to medication. Right. So those are like the major categories in which resistance can occur.
Okay, so let's talk about the second category,
Right.
because I know over the past few weeks we've talked about the abuse, overuse, and also let's focus on the other one.
Okay, so for the bacteria, so there's something called mutation where the bacteria begins to change its structure, and as a result of that, it does not allow the antibiotic to work in its cells. So as a result of that, the bacteria is not eliminated from the human body, right? That is called, it can develop into resistance. So there's also another thing, like I said, it's embedded in the DNA of the bacteria. There's another type of resistance in which the bacteria just closes its cell walls and doesn't even allow the antibacterial to come into it. So as a result of it, the bacteria is not eliminated from the human body. So that is why it's so important that we actually stick to how we take our antibacterials, because any slight change could cause this bacteria to actually mutate and cause the resistance to occur.
So when we talk about antibacterial, now, what sort of medication are we looking at?
Also, we are talking of antibiotics in general. So we are talking of the augmentins, the flagyl, all that. So
anti-malaria features as well?
So anti-malarials are anti-parasitic because they eliminate the parasites of the malaria in the system. So those are antiplasmodium, antiparasites.
Yeah,
so they're antimicrobials. So microbials is the general term for which fungals, for bacterial, viruses fall under. Right. So, but biotics, that is bacteria, biotics is for bacteria.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, when we talk about anti-malaria, I want us to touch on anti-malaria in particular. So when we talk about anti-malarial, you see a situation where people treat themselves for malarial up to like 6 times a year. So the usual thing is they'll ask you, when you go to a pharmacist, when was the last time you got treated for malaria? If you say 3 months ago, you're told go back home. But many people use it like every other month. In fact, it's like chewing gum these days. You have it, use anti-malaria. Yeah. Now, what happens, how does using anti-malarial so often become a situation where you start using it, doesn't have any effect anymore?
Yeah. So anti-malaria, that's a very important question, because especially in this zone where we are, where it's a malaria endemic zone, so we are prone to having malaria very often in the year, right? But at the same time, not just every symptom of malaria, it's malaria. It's so important that one has to get laboratory tested, right, before you confirm malaria. Because once you just have any symptom and you go and treat malaria, it might not be malaria. And the result of that, you are adding to the resistance of the malaria parasite in your system, right? So it's so important that before, if you have any symptom, right, first of all, you get tested. Okay. And these days where it's so easy to get the sleep or the sleeps, right, for you to test for malaria, So it's so easy for you to test for malaria and confirm malaria before actually treating malaria. Because if you do not do that, it's so easy for the malaria parasite to develop resistance, right?
Kenneth, you know, besides COVID now, I dare say we have limited reasons you would have anti-malaria, you know, you have malarial symptoms. Yeah. So besides COVID, we are just trying to believe it's not COVID. Yeah. What other symptoms can you have that are similar to malaria?
So you could have body weakness, general malaise, right? General body weakness, right? Joint pains, right? Evening chills, rigors. Those are some symptoms that are very similar to malaria, but might not be malaria. It could be something else.
Could be what then?
It could be something else.
Like what now?
Right? It could be stress. It could be stress related. It could be maybe you have an infection. Okay. Right? It might not be malaria. It could be maybe a bacterial infection and you need to be treated for it. It might not be malaria. So those are different symptoms that might manifest as malaria, but it's not malaria.
Now, to the risk of sounding like I have a personal vendetta when it comes to malaria, there's another question I want to ask, and it has to do with G6PD. Yeah. Now, many people suffer from G6PD, but do not even know about it. Till they even die, they don't even know it exists. And so you see people using anti-malaria, especially certain type of anti-malaria, and then they are peeing blood, for example, and they think, hey, it's an infection. You know how Nigerians are, we immediately diagnose ourselves. What causes that?
So first of all, G6PD is a deficiency, right, in humans in which the red blood cells react to some medications. It breaks down the red blood cells. So, for example, somebody might take a medication and the red blood cells begin to break down and it's eliminated in the body via maybe urine or sweat or something like that, right? So and interesting statistics show that it's quite prevalent in sub-Saharan Africa, up to 8%, right? But it's also important there are some tests that you can do to confirm that you are G6PD deficient. And it's important that if you find symptoms like that, probably you take some particular medications and you notice that you're peeing blood or you're stooling blood.
Quinine in particular.
Quinine, anti-malaria, very, very strong anti-malaria. In those days, right? It's important you do those tests just to confirm that you're not G6PD deficient.
Okay, so as much as I really want us to touch on so many things when it comes to drug resistance, unfortunately there isn't enough time. Right. But I must thank you for enlightening us in many ways this morning. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. At this point, we will take a break. Of course, Wake Up Nigeria continues in a bit. Stay with us.
And we are back. You're still on to Wake Up Nigeria. People, with me in the kitchen is Chef Eniola. And we are making pasta with meatballs. Yes, I love it. I know the kids also love this meal. And I hope that you watching at home is a part of everything we're doing here in the kitchen. If it's something that you definitely are going to try out later on, do not forget to tag us on all our social media platforms at TVC Connect. We'd like to be a part of what you also did as well at your homes. Right. Now, let's talk about the ingredients for our meal where we are right now. I see you mixing a whole lot of stuff. What's going on, Eniola?
So here I have the ground sausage, the ground beef, spring onions, green pepper. I already minced garlic and ginger.
Okay.
So I'm just going to pour them in it. So we're literally going to add everything now.
Okay.
Yes, and then you mix. Now, one thing is when you're making stuff like this, you don't mix it thoroughly. Just slightly mix it so it doesn't...
Okay. So we have grounded beef here.
Sausage?
And grounded beef and sausage,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And we have... Just tell us what's in the pan.
Curry powder, dry thyme, fresh garlic, fresh ginger, seasoning cubes.
Okay.
So far.
Now we're about to make our meatballs, right?
Yes.
The most technical part of this meal, I'm really looking forward to it because I've never really made meatballs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And it would hold.
Yeah. I always just cut and you're like, okay, what's going on?
I know,
here?
right?
Like,
My first attempt was like that too.
it's more like this meatball, they carry me, this meat, they carry me where I don't know. They carry me, they go where I don't know. I don't understand. Yeah. Okay. So I see you're adding grounded pepper.
Yep.
Okay.
You know, we Nigerians now, we like pepper.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be more, we just want pepper.
Yes, it must be peppery, right.
So just adding everything. Yeah.
And that's our breadcrumbs,
Yes.
right? Great.
Just put it on there.
And at what point does the egg go in?
Everything now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Okay, if you're wondering what's going on here, we are about to make our meatballs. And to make the meatballs, you need your grounded beef and sausage. But in this case, we are making use of both. Or you could use either, right? It depends on your, what you have access to, right?
Yeah.
But we like to go all out here on the show. And trust Chef Eniola, when she comes, she brings it, literally. Okay, so what's happening over there?
I'm trying to saute the onions and then fry the pepper with the tomato paste to make the sauce for the pasta.
Okay.
It's like multitasking.
Okay. So at what point do we start to fry our meatballs?
Immediately we finish mixing everything. I'm just going to preheat the pan now.
Okay.
And for the meatballs, I like using oil and butter to give it more flavor. Yes, so we're using oil and butter.
And butter, fantastic. Okay, so we are caramelizing those onions, making...
To release the sweetness, the juice, the flavor, everything.
Great.
Yeah, so now we have tomato paste.
Okay. So we're using the canned tomato paste and then the fresh, blended one. Great.
This is just like jollof rice, really. Yeah, but it's not jollof rice.
Yeah. Remember, guys, we already parboiled our spaghetti. As you can see, it's over here. It's already parboiled, not too soft, not too hard. It's just right there in between.
Yep.
And, yeah. So much happening here in the kitchen. Pretty excited about this morning's breakfast. I hope you are too, watching at home. I hope you are as well. We are about to, things are kicking off here in the kitchen, but for now, we'll head over to the couch for some interesting discussion. Some people really need to tune in for this one. Over to you, Ms. Zino.
Well, thank you very much, MM. Now, we're about to discuss a topic that I have... no troubles with, but hey, maybe not. It is Hair Loss Awareness Month. Did you know that? And the theme of its campaign this month is I Am Not My Hair Loss. If you know that song from back in the day, I Am Not My Hair, I think it was, who was it again, Mary? India Arie, wasn't it? Yes, it was India Arie. Now, the aim of this is to create more awareness about hair loss, address social issues concerning hair loss, dispel misconceptions, and also encourage individuals, basically. Now, we have with us a very special gentleman. This here with us is Mr. Ayo Otsubanja, the CEO of Vinci Hair Clinic. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you here.
Great to be here.
So, very interesting topic here, like I said from before, the afro.
One of the blessed few.
I am blessed. However, am I? Because I have not, for the life of me and in my entire life, been able to grow a beard. So I believe maybe this is a topic for me because it's not just on the top, it's also, I have no mane. Let's put it so.
Right.
But why is it very important, hair loss, and that topic, to talk about it and make people aware about it?
Right. There are several myths around hair loss, several misconceptions. I mean, I could go on and on and on and tell you what they are. A good example is somebody saying, the more frequent I wash my hair, the more hair loss I, have. So there are so many of these misconceptions out there. So they all, one of the key things we want to try and achieve this month of hair loss awareness, is to really dispel most of these myths and educate people, inform people. So that's that's one of the key objectives of this month.
Oh, that's very interesting. How prevalent is hair loss in Nigeria? Let's take a sample.
Very prevalent, very prevalent. It affects both men and women. For women, you don't really see it because women have ways of covering up the hair loss.
Yeah.
For men, it's a lot more obvious because most men, until very recently, don't wear wigs.
Yeah, until very recently, it's becoming a thing now. Men are very comfortable.
Precisely, precisely. And basically, there are different types of alopecia. Alopecia is the technical word for hair loss. So you've got the genetic or androgenic alopecia, which affects both men and women as well. In men, you typically see men going bald. There's a kind of pattern to it. In women, the pattern is slightly different, but it's the same type of alopecia. And then you've got perhaps the most common form of alopecia in women in Africa, especially in Nigeria, called traction alopecia.
Traction alopecia.
Traction alopecia. That's when you see the loss of hair in the frontal. Yeah, because of the tight braiding.
Can you give us more information about that? Now, that is, you talked about genetics being a cause, but then there's also habit as well.
Correct, yeah. I mean, so traction alopecia is a typical habits, because it's things you do when you go to the salon, for instance. If you don't do tight braiding, if you don't do some of the harmful things, which...
You call it harmful?
Yeah, they are.
So when they say beauty is pain, that tightening of the hair is actually dangerous.
I don't actually, subscribe to that. I mean, I think there are several ways in which women can look beautiful. Of course, we want women to look beautiful.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be at the expense of them losing their hair.
Okay.
So I don't see the point of this very tight braiding to the point of severe headaches. Seriously, I don't see it. So we try as much as possible to educate people to say, look, when you go to the salon, be very careful what the salon workers do to your hair. Be very careful about what's applied on your scalp.
Yeah.
All these things can create hair loss 6 months, a year down the line. You might leave the salon looking all beautiful and gorgeous and everything, and then 6 months to a year later, you
have issues.
Yeah.
Is there a way to, well, one, stop hair loss, two, regain hair?
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, a typical example, obviously, of preventing or stopping hair loss is really not to practice those kind of harmful things in the salon. But there are other ways you could prevent hair loss. So, for instance, we talk about the genetic form of hair loss. Now, if you look around your family members, you're probably most likely to see other members of the family with hair loss. Once you start noticing that, you'll understand that there is a propensity, not certainty, but there's a propensity for you to develop hair loss. Now, what you then do is be very mindful of your hair fibers. So if you touch the hair fibers in this part of the scalp, when it starts thinning, it's getting soft, like baby's hair, like cotton wool, compared to the textures of the hair at the sides, at the back, that's the start of your balding process.
What do I do then? At
that stage, if you come to a clinic, for instance, we can prescribe medication to stop that process.
These are medications?
At that stage, medication is all you need.
What if I go past that stage?
Right. Once you've actually gone bald, now you're then talking about surgical intervention. And we have a flagship clinic here in Lagos that does hair transplants for the first time in
that's amazing. For the first time in Nigeria and West Africa, you can actually do hair transplant. Where did they get this hair from? Is there like a store somewhere in ShopRite where you can go and have follicles on the store and on the shelf? And
no. You are yourself donors, so we take donor follicles from yourselves. Usually take it from the back or the sides. Those are the safe areas of the scalp to take those donor follicles. And it's those donor follicles that are then implanted in the areas where we want to start the process of hair growth.
Okay.
So where we've taken those follicles from,
they will regrow.
Yeah, precisely.
But is it a painful process, and how long does it take?
It's not. I mean, it's done under local anesthesia. If you're familiar with, it's the most minor form of surgery.
Okay.
Typically, a hair transplant procedure will last about 7 hours in total.
7 hours, that's a long time. Well, ladies spend longer than that when they go to the salon, so it's all right. It's like 7 hours, okay.
Yeah, so it's a relatively painless procedure, and literally within 3 months, you know, those transplanted follicles will start producing hair, so you start seeing new hairs come up where you've had none. You usually get the full effects of a transplant after about 6 to 9 months.
Oh, okay, okay, that's interesting. Are you a recipient?
No.
Practice what you preach.
I have a procedure which is called scalp pigmentation.
Okay.
So I have a genetic form of hair loss as well. Okay. And then about 10 years ago, I had what we call scalp pigmentation. It's a form of cosmetic or aesthetic to make you look as if you have hair. Oh. So you could see my distinct hairline, yeah, exactly. And yeah, but it won't grow beyond this, you know. So that's why I have to maintain a shaved look.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting. It's just very, I've never really thought that there was the need for a National Hair Month or International Hair Month or anything like that. And the revelations that you're giving us about the possibilities of catering to your hair even after hair loss or at the point where you're losing your hair. However, I hear the music play me out, but wait, you guys want to hear this? How much does it cost?
Well, I mean, basic medication starts from as little as 32,000 naira.
32,000 naira, medication?
Yeah, for medication. I mean, if you then go into the transplants and surgical, that's between $2,000 and $4,000.
Why did you switch to dollars?
Because the naira value is just so...
Keep it in the naira.
I have to try and calculate how much, yeah.
But this is interesting stuff. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
And I really would like to talk to you about, maintaining at least my hair.
You're blessed.
Do you think I can get any?
Well, yeah, we do beard transplant as well.
Why are people shouting? Keep quiet, please. Please.
We do beard transplants as well. Yeah.
Well, let's talk after.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Do stay tuned. We've got more coming your way inside of Wake Up Nigeria for a Tuesday. I'm gonna go get my consultation done now. Thank you very much. We'll be back.
So this is our promise: a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and everything you might need to make sure your morning is beautiful. You're gonna find it right there.
In my life.
A little bit of really, we don't remember
that. A little bit of
wow. A little bit of in the kitchen. A little bit of Mary on the bed. Exactly.
She's heating up
eventually.
Meatballs one after
we need to do a music video.
This is not how this hour was meant to start.
No.
In any case, thank you guys very much for staying tuned. If you're just joining us, welcome. It's the edition you're looking forward to. We give you everything you desire in life, perhaps at least in the morning when you're having breakfast. It's a gripping 45 minutes waiting for you, at least what we have left.
We always have a blast right here in the studio, and we encourage you to stay right there as you spend the remaining parts of the show with us. Titilaya Oyinson is my name.
Mazino Appeal is my name. is in the kitchen with it's a slight chance of meatballs.
Yeah. It's raining meatballs.
It is, isn't it?
In the kitchen.
Yes,
and Eniola is making sure that those meatballs don't go missing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're not finding its way out of this kitchen. Mazino.
It's not me you should worry about.
I got my eye on you.
It's the other guy, and he's not here today.
Yeah.
It's all good. Well, hey, stream the show live, people, at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect. You can also catch us on GOTV channel 27 and UHF channel 49.
49. Yes. 49.
Don't forget, 49.
We have an app available for you to download, Android, iOS, no matter what you're using. You can catch us right there online, no stress. YouTube is also available for you. If you want to catch up on some past episodes, just search for TVC Entertainment.
About the past episodes, yesterday was so engrossed in herself, watching her videos. Oh my God, I'm so beautiful. Oh my God, I should wear this dress again. Oh my God, look at my hair. Calming down. YouTube was not meant for you. It was meant for our viewers.
It's actually fun whenever we go back and look over.
It was actually. I enjoyed it.
We've had some really interesting conversations, amazing outfits, especially from Sometimes I'm wondering what does your wardrobe look like? Goodness me.
Yeah, today is not one of those days. Her goldfish died. What we have coming up this hour shortly after, some music performance coming your way. Singer and pianist Amos Izomo, popularly known as A Major. He'll be here to serenade us with his very interesting vocals.
Yeah. We also have an interesting conversation coming up. Tolulope Jeremiah is going to be here. Toluiz is a comedian and content creator. Can't wait to share his work with the world.
And finally, on parenting, we will be discussing today's dad, taking care of mom, with Jesutola Ajal, a creative analyst and also founding principal at New Lagos Dads. It's a parenting platform for new dads, promoting improved parenting for a better society.
Yay!
Welcome back, guys. Tuesday edition, second hour here. We've got little time, but plenty packed in. Don't you guys worry.
Okay, so talking about little time and plenty packed in. I saw a tweet. This person said, this month alone, 11 well-paid staff in my company resigned and relocated, making it 82 members of staff who have exited this year alone. People aren't joking with this jackpot. And so it had me thinking, we've been talking about people jackpot. But
then jackpot for our bourgeois friends.
Okay, so yeah, for those who don't know, jackpot means that
immigration.
You go abroad in search of greener pasture.
Yeah.
So my thoughts on this is, if everybody leaves, who will be left? Now, what it also means is that the same way people left those countries that are begging you to come, like the UK, for example, due to Brexit, is the same way foreigners will soon start coming to take up these jobs in Nigeria. Because this is getting out of hand.
I'm of a different opinion.
On the other hand, according to reports, actually, between January to April, we have over 350,000 doctors that have jackpot, which is also affecting...
350,000, okay.
Over 300, according to reports.
Sure?
Yes, according to reports. Yes, which is also reflecting badly on the health sector because we need doctors. But the truth is, not everybody can jackpot, right? If you jackpot, there are people that are going to school. Unfortunately, ASU is on...
Oh, let's not start that one again.
If the resident doctors would have finished there, whoever, and gone into the labor market, they are stuck because...
Here's my submission. I think that this jackpot thing, Majig, that we've been talking about is it's our fault. First off, we have a huge population in Nigeria. And I say it's our fault because it's your fault, it's your fault.
No,
and
because
it's also your
not
fault
your
as
fault.
It is. Wow, very refreshing. Okay, population explosion. Our resources, the resources that we have are so thin and spread in between everybody. It's the population. It's a bit too much.
I don't understand. What's the standard?
See, if in the 80s, the government had actually perhaps created that awareness that, hey, we don't get too much, you. More than the small, this burning of boy and get.
It's the same way people are living, the same way different countries are trying to
but look at China, for instance.
Nigeria.
China had that policy.
Yeah, they did actually.
Yeah,
they did.
But then now they're begging.
It's a governance thing. It's a governance thing. But at that time, they needed to calm down.
Mazino, I do not think...
I think it has to do with the ailing infrastructure, the crippling economy. The government has to do better in equipping the economy.
To me, it's beyond
population. Save us!
Wow. It has to do with responsibility. Why are you giving birth to more than you can take care of?
Let's take a quick break. We'll be back.
We begin with Judicial Matters as the Federal High Court has dismissed a suit instituted by the federal government seeking to extradite suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari to the United States of America. Justice Inyang Ekwo held that the extradition request filed by the Attorney General of the Federation lacked merit and is liable to dismissal. Judiciary correspondent Celestina Iria reports.
At the Federal High Court in Abuja, following a request by the diplomatic representative of the U.S. Embassy in Abuja. The request from the U.S. authorities to Mr. Malemi is for the surrender of Abba Kyari, who is the subject of superseding 3-count indictment. In his defense, Mr. Kyari had held that he has not committed any offense to warrant the federal government ferrying him to America. The suspended police chief told the court that more than a year before his arrest, he had written the Attorney General of the Federation and the Inspector General of Police, notifying them that he had opened a channel of communication with the suspected internet fraudster Ramon Abbas. In the 2-letter tendered in court, Mr. Kyari explained that the purpose was to gain the confidence of the suspected fraudster and lure him to come to Nigeria, where an ambush was already laid for a sting operation by his own strike force. Delivering judgment, Justice Inyang Eko held that the federal government has no basis to fight the extradition request, having put Abba Kyari on trial in Nigeria in relation to allegations against him in America. The Extradition Act is clear as one which prohibits granting extradition request for someone who has a pending criminal suit yet to be discharged by a court of competent jurisdiction, and in the case of the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari, who faces another case of alleged drug trafficking. The trial judge expressed dismay that the Attorney General Abubakar Malami, being the chief law officer, should have known that the extradition suit was incompetent.
The application for extradition, as made by the Honorable Attorney General of Federation, was brought in bad faith. It was not brought seriously. It was an attempt to hoodwink and attack our clients. And it's incompetent, and it was dismissed and was struck out and dismissed together on the merits too, that there's no merit in it. And the basis of the finding is that there is also a subsisting criminal case filed by the same Attorney General before filing the extradition application. And he cannot pretend to say that he's not aware.
The basis of the extradition suit against Mr. Kyari was hinged on his alleged involvement with internet fraudster Ramon Abbas, commonly known as Hush Puppy, who was convicted by a U.S. court. Celestina Area, TVC News, Abuja.
Now let's turn our attention to the lingering strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. There's still no end to the 6-month-old strike by teachers in government-owned universities. At the end of its National Executive Council meeting in Abuja, the Academic Staff Union of Universities failed to issue a statement on its resolution. But a member of the union's NEC confirmed that the strike is now indefinite. Several calls and text messages put across to the president of ASU, Emmanuel Osodeke, and other union leaders were not responded to. ASU began a nationwide strike on 14th of February this year. The union has rolled over the strike a couple of times before the latest indefinite extension of the industrial action. Government's no work, no pay policy and its non-acceptance of the union's university transparency accounting system, UTAS, for payment of salaries are two of the basic grievances of the university teachers. And from there, we move to foreign news, where at least 3 persons have been killed and several persons injured in violent clashes in Baghdad's Green Zone. This follows an announcement by Iraqi cleric Muqtada al-Sadr that he was withdrawing from political life. Eyewitnesses say security forces pushed protesters out of Iraq's Republican Palace by firing tear gas and live bullets. The Republican Palace is where the Iraqi cabinet meets, and Prime Minister Mustafa al-Kadhimi has now suspended all meetings of his government until further notice. The Prime Minister has urged Mr. al-Sadr to help call on the demonstrators to withdraw from government institutions. Iraqi military disclosed that it is practicing the highest levels of self-restraint and brotherly behavior to prevent clashes or the spilling of blood. The military also declared a full curfew until further notice. And that's it on the news update today on Wake Up Nigeria. There's so much more to come. Please stay with us.
And joining us for an interesting conversation is Toluwa Jeremiah, whom you've just seen on that piece there, popularly known as Toluise. He's a comedian, a content creator, and hey, he can't wait to share his work with the world. As you can see, he's currently an undergraduate of the Lagos State University. So, Toluise, yes, you are welcome. How's the strike going? But it's a very interesting thing that we have you here, especially while the ASU strike is on, because people like you have decided, hey, I'm not just going to sit at home and just, do nothing.
Yeah,
I'm going to go into, content creation.
Actually, the strike didn't affect my school. My school is formerly last protected in the new Lagos State University of Science and Technology.
Okay.
So the strike didn't affect us.
You guys are still on?
Yeah, we're
How does that make you feel? That everybody else is on strike?
Of course, it makes me feel more cool because I know at least with the time I have calculated, okay, between this time to this time, I will be out of this school setting, you understand? So it makes me feel cool, actually.
That's fantastic. But you've chosen to do content creation, comedy, as we can see. There's a lot of people out there who's also doing the same thing. People are thinking like you. How do you intend to stand out of these guys? And then after school, well, let's finish that question first because I have so many. How do you intend to stand out?
Actually, outside there, basically, a lot of people are creating it.
Yeah.
So it is obvious.
It's plenty.
So it takes you to be more creative, and you need to add that spice to your content for you to stand out. I've thought about that also. So your uniqueness counts a lot.
Yeah.
So I have seen that. So
very
how I have planned myself to stand out is not to do exactly what everybody is doing.
Then
I have
do what
to
people do.
those things that are unique. When you watch my content, you will notice that most things that I do there, they are not what you see outside.
Very different.
I say from the talking, from how I cut my shots and stuff. So there is a lot of uniqueness in what I do.
When you graduate, do you intend to continue doing, things relating to media? Do you want to get more training outside the country, perhaps, or something? What do you intend to do?
Yeah, I would continue with that, because even before I got into school, I already have interest into that, and I have been doing it for long.
Okay.
You understand? So it's not like after school and after the certificate, I will drop that aside and decide to. So it's something I have in mind to pursue, actually. So I'll go for it.
Now let's talk business now. Everybody's doing this because they actually want to earn. Have you started earning from your skits? Have you started earning money from your skits?
Not much yet, sir.
Not much yet.
Yes.
But that's the desire.
The money is not actually the main push for me.
What is?
Do you get the main push for me is just the passion, basically.
Okay.
Because even before I got to understand that people make money from it, basically I already want to put it out for people, just to make people, feel good with what I create.
I do know that on TikTok you can already start making money. I do know that on TikTok it doesn't even matter your content, no matter how ordinary or rudimentary it is, that you can actually already start making money. And Instagram has actually initiated the same thing, where you can actually have people subscribe to your content.
Yeah,
so don't think that it's nothing. Don't be sitting down there and thinking that, I'm just doing it for the passion.
No, the money is there, but it's not the number one.
From your content.
So we push it. That's true. That's 100%. We have to put that in mind also. So because a lot of resources and time goes into it. So that has to be part of the plan too. So it's not like I didn't put it aside, cancelled or something. So it's part of it already.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Louise, it's good to have you here. I'm happy that we're helping put you on the map for when it comes to content creators in Lagos and Nigeria. Don't stop. Keep doing it. You can be big. You will be. And we're going to have our eye on you. All right? Thank you very much. Thank you very much for staying tuned and watching. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us right here on Wake Up Nigeria. We're talking parenting at this point of the show, and it's about today's dad. Well, not exactly about today's dad. It's about how today's dad is taking care of a new mom. Who better to have this discussion with than Jesutola Ajao? Why? He is the creative analyst and founding principal at New Lagos Dads. That's a parenting platform for new dads, promoting improved parenting for a better society. It's always a pleasure having you on the show.
Good morning. Good to see you again.
All right, so the New Lagos Dad, he's in traffic heading home every day to and from the office. He is worried about, the upcoming school fees. He's worried about how many diapers are left in the house, but not because he has to change the diaper, because he knows he has to buy more.
Yes, he has to buy more, yeah.
The New Lagos Dad doesn't have as much information as he should have because he's too busy hustling.
Yes.
Give us some insight in into what dads need to know, especially immediately after a baby is born.
Well, a new dad must acquire knowledge. Once you confirm your wife is pregnant, you have to acquire as many, you have to read as many books as it's available online. So you have to acquire a lot of knowledge as to taking care of a pregnant woman and when the baby comes, what you need to do. Okay. We know the society does not prepare a man. I keep saying this for emphasis. The society does not prepare the man for what to expect or what he's going to be saying when he's married, when he's going to have a child, and how he's going to how he should go about it. So it's important for the man, with the help of the woman, to go on this journey with the woman.
So women are in this society, in this culture, often pushed towards being the Hebrew woman.
Yes,
handling it all, sucking it up. Oh, it's not just you that has given birth. Women have been giving birth for decades, for centuries. meaning that they're not communicating as much with the fathers. What can the women actually do better during this journey, especially as soon as baby is born?
Well, because before now, our mom are actually the superheroes in the family because of how the society was at that point in time. But things are changing now. You know, quite a number of career women, quite a number of people, family, and the society itself. So a woman must hold the man by the hand and take them on this journey. Okay. Co-parenting is a lot easier. It's a lot easier when both partners are involved. When you're parenting, when both partners are involved, it's a lot easier. I'm not saying women have not been doing awesome jobs in the past, but now men want to be involved. They don't know what to do. You have to hold them by the hand to come on this journey with you.
Okay, so what are those very important aspects that dads need to know now? A brand new baby has entered the house. Your house is no longer your house again. What are the things dads need to know?
You have to pay attention to your woman. In as much as you are paying all attention is on the baby, oftentimes the woman is a bit neglected somehow. Okay. So you as a father must pay attention to your woman. She is going to want to eat more now. Okay. The chores in the house, she's going to want to also take care of the chores in the house if you don't have help. You have to be there to assist in a lot of ways. Okay. She needs to get hydrated all the time. Okay. When you're coming back home, you don't come empty-handed. You always have to get something for her. Okay. You always have to encourage her. She's doing well emotionally. You know, you always have to talk to her, tell her you love her, be there for her, spend the little time you have with her, 100%.
So I'm hearing a lot of words of, so you're giving words of encouragement to the woman. Now, some women have been known to have incredible mood swings as soon as baby is born. Some get depressed. We talked about postpartum depression earlier on today on the show. Some women are just clueless as to what actually to do. They're not actually sure how to handle situations. What is a dad's reaction supposed to be?
The dad's reaction must look at it from the angle of when, for instance, a hangover from a nightclub. You come back in the morning and something hits you. You do not know what. Okay. You have to look at it from that angle. She does not know. It just happens. She's not doing it intentionally. She does not hate you. She does not, despite the fact that you put her in that condition or something, like a lot of people used to say. But she's going through that because of the changes going on in her body. Okay. You, as a man, must try and put yourself in her shoes. It's very difficult to do that, but you really must try and put yourself in her shoes so that you can actually help her get through this phase.
So I do realize that a lot of men end up feeling, in a sense, helpless. Like, no matter what they do, it's not going to make much of a difference. Do you believe it's true?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Your effort counts. It might not count in the beginning because probably your mother-in-law or friends are around or helps are around. But at the end of the day, when they all leave or go to their house, your help will count a lot. Okay. She will come to realize it over time. So you have to keep trying. You know, the baby is yours as well. It's not hers. It's not just hers. You guys are in it together. So if you let her be by herself alone, at the end of the day, it's going to come back to haunt you.
I want to try and balance the list of things that a dad can do and what a dad can't do. So we all know that the breastfeeding part, the dad can't do that.
Yes.
But what are the things the dad actually can do?
The dad can help, can learn how to change diapers.
Okay.
That's awesome. We've been teaching that over time.
Okay.
The dad can also learn how to bop a baby.
Oh, that's belching the baby.
Yes,
okay,
yes, can bop a baby. And the dad can also learn to put the baby to sleep. You know, you can help put the baby to sleep.
Are you talking about that rocking,
You have to rock and dancing, yes. You can keep some late nights to help your wife sleep.
Okay.
You know, okay. I did that a lot when we had our first child and the second one. Okay. So, and it helps you bond with your child. It's not just depriving yourself of sleep. It helps you bond with your child.
That depriving yourself of sleep thing. I don't know. A lot of dads don't know how they don't know how they're going to figure that out.
It's difficult, but then you look at it like doing business.
Okay.
You know, you have to continue to invest in it.
All right.
You know.
What about the cooking thing? So there are some men that, man, they must have fresh food, though, you know, and mommy is still, you know, nursing a child, has probably been up all night, you know, but daddy is making demands of all sorts of meals that it just feels like a lot of work.
That's where communication comes in, deciding how you want things to go. Both of you have to sit down and decide the goal. What do you want to achieve? How do you want to achieve the changes that comes?
Okay.
You know, you can't be, both of you can't be available for last-minute hangouts anymore. You can't, Dad can't just disappear as he used to disappear with boys. You know, at this point in time, both of you must sit down and decide. You know, some men are learning how to cook.
Okay.
We brought someone at one of our conferences, and then we showed men how they can make basic meals, snacks for women during this period. So things are changing. The norms are changing. Men are more interested in parenting right now.
I'm so pleased to hear this, and it's very encouraging because you remind me of a man's man. You know, you have and had your boys with you as well, and you're going the extra mile to also do these trainings. The responses you've been getting, just give me one or two of the responses you've been getting from dads.
We had a session with a couple last year.
Okay.
And before then, they were always fighting about something, a task and all that. So we had this therapy session we had with them, and the doctor came on board and all that, and we spoke with them at length. And we saw them at one of the baby fest we had over the weekend, and immediately they saw me, they were very happy, and they shared their experience. Now they have another child, and the man was the one carrying the baby. And before then, he would not even touch a baby. He doesn't know how to carry a baby.
Wow.
So he's learned on the job. He's become a pro. He's also passing on the knowledge. You know, I used to say, if you fail to train your child, a boy child as well, they will not make your girl child happy. That's the society. It's designed that way. The male child you're training to be perfect might end up being with a male child that's not trained. So we all, as men, must learn to mirror a perfect image for our sons coming up.
You know what? I don't think we can say so much more on this, but we can always take your comments and contributions online. Why not send us your messages, use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria and ask Jisutola any questions you might have. Hopefully we've encouraged a brand new dad out there. We're going to be heading over to the kitchen in a bit. Guys, are you ready for us?
Yes, we are.
You ready for us?
Yes, we are.
All right, let's go. The chef has been cooking. A Lagos dad like you deserves a meal.
Amen.
Please step into our kitchen, please.
Take a seat. You're welcome.
All right, take a seat.
Time for breakfast.
Yes, so
this is chef.
Yes, they know each other from way back.
Way back.
Way back.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Right. Welcome to the
The
kitchen.
first meal she ever professionally cooked was for him.
Yes.
Really?
When I was a bachelor in my house.
That's a lot of information.
So on the next episode of...
She was the...
Chef Aniola has made pasta with meatballs for you. Dipped in a lot of sauce. So please
I don't
enjoy.
think Eniola needs your intercession. They know each other. She can tell him what it is.
Please,
I should not be biased, ma.
please don't be biased. Tell us what
Spaghetti
you
and meatballs.
What do you think?
It looks good. So
It actually looks very good.
just try this.
So what do you think?
I like it. It's nice.
All right.
What you say?
All right.
So what will you not say of the meatballs?
No, I've not tried that. Let me
You should
try.
try
You try the meatballs.
Extra
But it
juicy.
looks really good. Though.
Yeah,
Really
it
good.
actually.
It just made my
Yum.
tummy start rumbling just now. Good.
Love
I
it.
can't wait to taste those meatballs.
nice.
They look nice.
All right then.
Well
Thank you. Well done.
That's the response we're looking for, guys. A tantalizingly tasty meal for a Tuesday.
She said.
Yeah, you know it's me now. It's me. We're going to have a great show again tomorrow morning from 7 a.m., y'all. Have a great day.
Have a great day, people.
Bye, everybody.